For the last championship prediction of 2023, we got one score correct. Rotherham drawing 1-1 with Sunderland. Blues, very disappointed with that. 0-0 against Bristol City. I did put us to lose, but I was at least expecting a bit of excitement, and the game was awful to watch. One shot on target. We set up for a clean sheet, according to Rooney in his interview afterwards, and that's exactly the thing that John Eustace got sacked for. Not being attacking enough, not going for the wins, and Rooney did exactly the same there. So I've got a feeling Rooney's time may be limited, and maybe, just maybe, the first game of 2024 could be his last. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and let's get into my predictions. Sunderland against Preston kicks us off, and Sunderland under Beale, he's had an okay start. They drew 1-1 away at Rotherham. It's a tough place to go, to be honest. Rotherham don't lose too many at home, so not a bad point to be getting. But now that Sunderland are back at home, they'll be wanting all 3 points. And how did Preston follow up their brilliant 2-1 win against Leeds? Well, they went and lost 1-0 to Sheffield Wednesday. That's the reason I'm going to go for Sunderland to get all 3 points here, 2-1. Blackburn against Rotherham is a difficult one. When I looked at it originally, I thought draw. However, Blackburn do not draw many games. They are the lowest drawing team in the league with just 1. Now, they've lost 6 out of their last 7. They've lost 4 in a row, so they're in awful form at the moment. But Rotherham are the worst away side in the league. They've only picked up 2 points out of their 12 away fixtures. And, one of those was against Blues, unfortunately. But they are a very, very poor side on the road. So I'm going to be decisive. I'm not going to go for a draw because Blackburn don't do it. So I will go all 3 points. And I think it's slightly needed at the moment to stop the rot to Blackburn with a 2-1 win. Bristol City v Millwall looks pretty evenly matched. Now the home side unbeaten in 4 with 3 wins, and their latest being a 0-0 draw with Blues. Millwall also unbeaten in 4. They've only conceded 1 goal in those 4 games as well, and they have won their last 2. Interesting tie. Millwall, I'd always loved for a draw in previous seasons, even though it's not seeming to go that way at the moment. But I think this one does look pretty nailed on for a draw. It won't be, now that I've said that, but I'm going to go 1-1. Leeds v Blues next. Leeds have only won 1 of their last 5, losing 2 in a row. However, they were both away games, and they're still yet to lose at home with 8 wins and 4 draws out of their 12 matches. So very hard to beat at Elland Road. In fact, it doesn't happen. I didn't think Blues would win anyway, but that kind of rules that out. And we aren't looking great at the moment. I mean, a 0-0 draw with Bristol City, they're in good form. I guess you're happy with it, but it was a very uninspiring match. I think Jay Stansfield may be on the way out of his loan spell, going back to Fulham, and then probably go on loan to, it looks like Ipswich or Sunderland, which I wouldn't blame him because he's not getting too much service, and he is doing pretty well with what he's getting. I don't fancy this one at all, and to be honest, I think a heavy loss here could mean Rooney is out. So I'm going to go for it. I think Leeds, with their brilliant fluid attack, when they're at home, Blues just not really being able to defend other than the last match, I think that sets it up for a pretty emphatic, I'm going to go Leeds to win 4-1. Leicester are on another one of those runs, 7 wins out of 9, drawing the other 2. Huddersfield only won 1 of their last 7. I don't see this going any other way than the home side, but maybe Huddersfield will be able to make it tight. Leicester to win 2-1. Middlesbrough against Coventry should be a good one. It's a repeat of the semi-final playoff from last season that Coventry won. And it's going to be tight, I think, because Middlesbrough have won 3 of their last 4. They're only 3 points off the playoffs. Coventry have only lost 1 in their last 10. They're in very good form at the moment, and they're 5 points off the playoffs. So Coventry could make it all a bit tighter. Middlesbrough could leapfrog a few teams and get a bit closer to the playoffs. It's all to play for here, and that's why I'm going to go for a pretty exciting 2-2 draw. Norwich against Southampton. Now, Norwich were unbeaten in 5 before 2 1-0 away losses in a row. They won't be happy with that because they look like they were building towards the right direction, and they kind of took a few steps back, and I fear it could get worse for them here. Southampton unbeaten in 17, which is just ridiculous. 4 wins in a row. They are flying. They're now 3rd, and they're so close to Ipswich now. Only 3 points separating them and the automatic spots. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to the Saints. Plymouth v Watford could provide a bit of a shock. Plymouth unbeaten in 6 at home, so very hard to beat. Watford, they were looking good. They were very in great momentum chasing the playoff spots, but 2 games without a win now, a draw with Stoke last time out. They need to get back to winning ways to close that gap. I think this will be tight. I think there could be goals, so I'll go for a 2-2. 2 sides in uninspiring form, and QPR are in need of some points. 5 games without a win comes after those 3 straight wins. They were looking up the table, but bit of a setback recently. They got a good point against Ipswich last time out though. That's key to note because Ipswich are a very good side. As you can see, they're 2nd in the table, and QPR managed to get something, although Blues got something and we're an awful side at the moment, so maybe don't read into it. Cardiff only won 1 of their last 5. They're very hit and miss, Cardiff. They were in a good spot, but they're slowly dropping down the table. I'm going to go for a QPR 1-0 win. Stoke versus Ipswich could prove to be very important for the away side. Stoke unbeaten in 5, 4 of those being draws, so not getting decisive goals but not losing. And Ipswich really need to win because Southampton are piling a lot of pressure on them. Ipswich, no wins in 4, 3 points out of a possible 12. I do fear that they are going to lose grip of that top 2 spot, and I think Southampton are going to take it within the next few weeks. For this one, I'm going to go, unfortunately for the Tractor Boys, for a 1-1 draw. Swansea against West Brom, and Swansea, they are very hard to read. They got a good point against Coventry away, but quite inconsistent, and it's key to note that they are one of only 6 sides that aren't currently in the relegation zone that are closer to the bottom 3 than they are the playoffs. So they are a team that are in danger if they start to slide a bit, and they do need to start picking up some wins to kind of just clear themselves to become mid-table. West Brom, 2 home victories in a row, both 1-0s, one of them being against Leeds, and that victory means they're only now 3 points off Leeds, so very good from West Brom. And they're also extending the gap to 7th place, 5 points ahead, so they're nicely into the playoffs at the moment, and they should be able to hold on, I guess. It's going to be interesting to see how their season develops. For this one, I think the Baggies will steal it 2-1. And in the late Saturday kickoff, Sheffield Wednesday welcome Hull. Now, Sheffield Wednesday, in their last 7, have won 4, lost 3. So after the very poor start from Cisco, they are now seeming to turn their fortunes around under Danny Roll, and they're now not too far from safety. They're only 6 points off. So, you know, a situation that looked like certain relegation has changed into one where they look like they could survive, and like within the next few months or maybe even January they could get out if they carry on their current form. Hull got back to winning ways with a 3-2 win over Blackburn, meaning they've won 3 of their last 5. They're now in the playoff spot, so they'll be hoping they can hold on to that, but it's going to be a tough task in this. I think it will be tight. Both sides haven't been drawing lately, so I probably shouldn't go down that route, but unfortunately I'm indecisive and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. So those are my predictions for these championship fixtures. Make sure to get your predictions down in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I hope you have a great New Year's Eve, and I'll see you in 2024.